Hi everyone, this is Anthony O'Flynn. The ongoing crisis that is obviously global in nature is a fascinating spectacle to watch from the perspective that the cracks that are appearing in the official story and this epic struggle for the truth to come to the light of day is reaching new levels that we haven't seen yet. Now, there's been many topics, many subjects, many events that have effectively red-pilled large sections of the community, but this is the biggest one, at least in my view, that I've seen in over 20 years of studying and researching these topics. The significant thing, though, now is that because the cracks are appearing so widely, that there is a whole new wave of people who are now questioning the consensus reality, questioning the norm. And this is giving rise to the potential for mass awakening, at least in the initial stages of the overall awakening process, which is complex. So what I wanted to share is that now is the time for everyone to speak their truth and for everyone to come forward and start to share the truth, bring it up in conversations on social media. People who haven't made videos before or shared things from their perspective, now's the time to do it, because the wave of consciousness that is shifting on the planet now, it's becoming more and more unstable, and it means that when the consensus reality is questioned, there's a tipping point arising now where simply people will not trust the mainstream media. The mainstream media and the belief that people have in the propaganda of the mainstream media is one of the key mechanisms of control, of controlling the narrative, of controlling people's views, opinions, belief systems. And it is becoming increasingly more unstuck, and people are losing their confidence in these institutions to give them what is essentially the truth. So we have never seen before a time where a president of the United States repeatedly refers to the mainstream media as fake news. Whatever your opinion of Donald Trump is, it's significant to look at his role in office as an elected, democratically elected official, as president of the United States, that is repeatedly questioning the accuracy and also the intention at times of the mainstream media. And this is quite astonishing because it shows that the cracks are appearing in these institutions, that people are no longer regarding them as trustworthy. Even Donald Trump's decision to halt funding to the World Health Organization again shows the questioning of these institutions, their integrity, what their real motives are, their incompetence, whatever it is, however you view this from this perspective. It's a questioning of the narrative of the institutions that we used to, or some people still do, look to for sources of credibility, of integrity, of truth. And for this reason, now is the critical time, because this instability that's starting to occur means there's opportunity for this paradigm shift. And the way you go about this, of course, will be your own journey. But it's important not to come from a place of trying to convince other people that you're right, or trying to tell other people that this is the truth, because it actually has a reverse effect a lot of the time, because some of the people who are around you are perhaps never questioned some of these issues until now. So it's very important that you do it in a non-confrontational way, because people will believe what they want to believe regardless of what you say and how you approach these topics. But hopefully you can create the environment where it's okay to disagree, the agree to disagree motto, which is it's more constructive. having said that, there are some people that will get so triggered by what you post that you will possibly do irreversible damage to your friendship relationship with them, whether they're colleagues, friends, family. There will be collateral damage. Unfortunately, this is inevitable. But what you have to ask yourself is what is in your heart, and what is your heart and soul calling you to do at this time of change, this transition into the new earth. Because if you ignore that, then the ramifications for you and your soul journey will be affected. It's very difficult to have the courage to speak your truth and to do so in a public format, like not if you're at a picnic or a barbecue or something like that. So I hope that however you go about that moving forward, that you can do it in a way that's true to you, because really that's all that matters. And to live in the prison or the cage of what other people think of you is a massive burden to carry. I'm fortunate enough in many ways to have gone through a lot of these processes many, many years ago. So I don't feel the same burden perhaps as what I used to in some ways. Maybe that will change depending upon what my destiny has in store for me. But it's really important to ask yourself what's important to you and how you want to go about this, because the world really needs your light now. The world really needs your heart and your courage to do what you feel to share what you feel to. And in the end of the day, it's not about the statistics. It's not about the manipulation of the human consciousness, or the lies, or the distortion of truths, or the agenda that's being rolled out. It's about your role in the Great Awakening and what you will contribute and what you will offer. Because none of us can change the world individually. It's just not possible. And even though sometimes it feels like we'd like to, it just doesn't work that way. We do need a something of a solidarity, of a communion, or a community at least, to help facilitate that. And it's also important to understand that you'll never agree with everybody on every topic, and that's just how it is. But what is a more constructive viewpoint is to focus on what you do agree on, and therefore you can build consensus around those topics, because everyone's got their different ideas about different topics, and it's very challenging to navigate some of these when things are not clear with some issues. Not all issues are black and white. There is some grey there, and that's what you have to work with. But the main thing is, I guess, I'm hoping to share today, is I hope to inspire people to start not listening to people that try to censor you, not listening to people that try to bully you, not listening to people that are just so indoctrinated with the mainstream form of basic mind control that they can't break out of that prison. There's going to be people like that. It's just unfortunate, but it's the way it is. But to rise above that, and I've seen it, it's a very disturbing trend that I've seen, particularly on social media, where people are actually policing each other, where people are trying to censor each other, and people are really trying to, in essence, dictate what other people's opinions should be. And this is the lessening of free speech, which is one of the most founding principles of all free societies. Now, obviously we want to live in a society of much greater freedom than where we're currently at, but don't let people intimidate you, because they're actually just coming from a place of fear. They're so immersed in states of fear that they actually look at the truth that perhaps you or I or anyone else is sharing as being fear itself. Well, that's their experience of it, but there is nothing ever to fear about the truth. And people who want to live in this matrix way of viewing reality, well, it's their choice, and you must always respect that. We must respect that. But what's important is that to understand is that this process can't go from 0 to 100. It's not like a light switch. There are shades of grey. There's gradient. And this is what we have to work with to create this awakening process that is very, very challenging for some people. I mean, there is hope for people, but it's difficult, and you just have to try to work with the limitations of others in the same way that we try to work with the limitations of ourselves, which means that we can have more compassion for people who are struggling and essentially emitting this forms of negativity and hate in social media. But it's there, and we have to deal with it, and we have to integrate it and move forward with it. So thanks for watching. We live in epic times.